Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use the promo code CHGO when you sign up. If you turn the game off during the third period, you may have missed a lot. The Blackhawks had a really good first, really good second. Good start to the third. They're up 4-1. We're feeling good. And then the span of 9 minutes, the Dallas Stars score 5 times and win 6-4.
Man,
I'm not surprised, but I'm sort of stunned. It's
taken a second to recover from this.
Yes, this is rough. This is look, and I know we've been talking all year about, and we should be. That's the focus is the tank standings, and we're gonna get to those later. And like tank win and draft status. My fear is a loss like this, it could be catastrophic to that room, and this is going to be the first really big challenge that Luke Richardson's going to have to face.
Yeah,
he's going to have to find a way to pick this team up and say, we got another game in 36 hours. We've got to be ready to go here, and we can't let this completely derail the way we play. Because, look, Dallas is a really, really good team. Mm-hmm. They're a cup contender, and the Hawks outplayed them for 50 out of the 60 minutes. Maybe 45 of the 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe 40 if you want to be stingy.
Yeah.
But in the third, down 3-1, Dallas is bringing it on, and the Hawks are withstanding. They even score a goal. Then Max Domi takes a penalty, and all hell breaks loose. And
that was a tipping point.
This one it feels different. The end of this game feels different, and I'm just kind of refreshing Twitter here to see, like, what is Luke going to say after this one? This is tough.
It's a tough one. I mean, we talk all the time. We were saying it today as we were watching the game. It's one thing to say, I like the way that they start the game. I like the way that we played in losses, in periods where you give up the first goal, the second goal, the third goal of the game, things like that. Another game where the Blackhawks give up the first goal.
Yep.
But this was a game where up until midway through the third period, there was going to be a lot of good for Luke Richardson and the team to point at and say, look, like, we handled a really competitive team, a contending team, handled them well on the road. And then, I mean, I've in the last 13 months, I've seen some full diapers. This was a big one.
I told you not to tell people about that.
From the Blackhawks. I mean, it is a tank win. But yeah, the point you make, Jay, about the impact this could have, the negative impact this could have for the Blackhawks to have basically a decisive win, a big win going into Thanksgiving, to then having it completely pulled out from under them. Those mashed potatoes aren't going to taste as sweet.
They will at my house.
Always the optimist.
Sprinkle a little sugar on top.
I'm already over it, man. Give me the potatoes. I'm interested to see what Luke Richardson has to say, because this is a game he needs to be pissed off. He's not a guy that gets upset, at least in front of the media. And there's been so many games this year where he's been like, yeah, we lost, but I'm happy with the way we played. He can't say that tonight.
No.
He can't say that tonight. Yeah, you had your best 2 periods of the season. And the third period, you got stuck up the wazoo for the whole period. Yeah, Max Domi scored the goal, put you up 4-1. But until that point, the Stars owned that period from the start. They kept saying on the broadcast, for 50 minutes, the Hawks were the better team. 40 minutes, they were the better team.
Yeah.
Stars dominated that third period.
Well, even the Domi goal only lasted, 6-7 seconds?
Because he took a penalty off the next face-off.
Yeah, exactly.
The full Max Domi experience for you right there in the span of a blink of an eye. That reminded me of, the 2010s Blackhawks, where they were like, oh, we're supposed to win this game. Flip the switch.
Flip
Let's
a
win.
switch.
That's what Nate says.
Like, oh, wait a minute. We're the better team here. We got 8 minutes to win this game. Let's do
Yeah,
it. Like,
right.
that's
Yeah.
what it reminded me of.
There were times too with those Hawks teams where you're like, are they just seeing how down they can get? Like, are they challenging themselves? Is that what this
Yeah.
is all
It
about?
pretty much looked like the Stars were like, we're just going to dick around for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we're going to see how big of a comeback we can make in the third period. Because it was men against boys in that third period. It wasn't even close.
You felt like as soon as they got that power play goal, Domi scores, you feel a little bit of relief. Then was it 13 seconds later or whatever it was, he takes a tripping penalty, not like your typical Domi penalty, but just a stick penalty. It happens.
It's tough.
And then Ben scores on the power play, and then you could see it. You could see the buttholes get tight. And what does Herb call it? Tight booty time? Or I think it's what he calls it.
Tight booty syndrome, I think.
Tight booty syndrome. Thank you.
what it was.
Okay.
And that's what they
Let's
got.
say-
And it's in the Hawks' head.
It's not late enough to talk about that.
They cannot
It's never
hold.
too late for that.
They can't hold a lead.
No.
And it's, look, like, again, we can celebrate the Tank wins and we can show the Tank standing and say, yay, we're one step closer to Connor Bedard. These dudes are human beings. They're out there playing their balls off. They're playing hard.
Yeah.
You can't say, like, it's not like they weren't trying. They're diving over the place. They're blocking shots. They're doing everything they can to win, and they just don't. And as an athlete, that has an effect on you. It has an impact on you. Like, just think back to a couple weeks ago, like Justin Fields, right? He's lighting it up. He's playing great, and they lose, and he's like, this sucks.
Right.
Like, I'm glad I'm playing great, but it doesn't matter. The wins are what matters, and these guys don't want to hear about a rebuild. They don't care.
No, that's a valid point. We're all of us can sit here and go, all right, one step closer to Connor Bedard, and that's great for fans, and that's great for those of us covering the team. But those 20 guys in the locker room don't give a rat's ass about Connor Bedard or Adam Fantilli or any of these guys.
Right.
They care about embarrassing themselves the last 10 minutes of that hockey game. It's going to be a quiet flight home.
Yep.
And
Yeah, you'd imagine.
Hopefully they can enjoy their Thanksgiving tomorrow and have some family time, and then you're right back at it Friday. That's somewhat good thing. You've got a quick turnaround.
Short memory.
And, how does Luke Richardson get them to respond? You asked earlier, Jay. Well, there's some extra motivation in the building with the Montreal Canadiens in town. Luke Richardson's former team, who he was a coach for the last couple of years.
Yep.
You got Kirby Doc back in the building for the first time. There's some extra incentive to get up for that game. It should be, I would assume they're going to have a pretty good crowd there on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Holiday. Original Six rivalry game. Montreal always travels well. There'll be a lot of Canadiens fans in that building tonight wearing your reverse retros. Kind of hoping the Canadians are wearing their reverse retros too. That would look so freaking cool.
That'd be nice.
But lots of reasons to get up for that game. Let's see if it actually happens. This is going to be a tough one to bounce back from.
You know what's tough, too, is you were feeling so good halfway through the third, right? Like, Domi's got 2 points, and he's +3, and Seth Jones comes back and he scores. And everything just feels better. Everything feels more in control, and then it is yanked away from you. Like, it's one thing to go to Dallas and play pretty well, and you just lose 3-1. Like, Ottinger we couldn't beat Ottinger tonight. It feels different. This one it's tough. And Michael's in the chat every day saying poor coaching again. I would love Michael to know what you want Luke Richardson to do to solve this problem, because I don't think it's a coaching issue.
No.
I think, as we've
Certainly
said all
wasn't
year,
coaching for the first 40
it's a
minutes of that
personnel
game.
issue. And people that want to blame the coach, I want something specific. Don't tell me it's poor coaching. What should he have done instead? Because I think he's wondering the same thing. Like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. Like, what do I have to do to get this team to win? Yes, he realizes the roster's no good, and deep down, everybody in that room realizes that too.
Right.
It doesn't ease the pain of getting your ass kicked.
No, and yeah, being told, oh well, you're just not the better team. That doesn't do anything for you when you're a player. When you can look at it as from the outside of the locker room, like for us, just looking at it and saying, yeah, Dallas should beat the Blackhawks. Dallas should be able to mount a comeback against a team like like the Blackhawks and when you match up roster for roster. But to do it in this fashion, I mean, it's more than. I think the one thing I would have done differently if I were in Luke Richardson's shoes is take the timeout earlier.
Yeah.
Than when you're down in the game. I would have
Stop the bleeding.
I would have taken it when they tied the game. I think it was about 5.5 minutes left. That's when you take it and say, all right, we got to recollect ourselves. We got to slow down some sort of the momentum that Dallas was building at that point, and try to find a way to extend the game into overtime at that point, because you're just looking to survive at that point when you've given up 3 goals in the way that they did. To wait until you're down to take the timeout, I think it's too little too late at that point.
We said it right when they gave up that third goal. What was it, 2 goals in 14 seconds?
Yeah.
I said right there, we were talking, like, why isn't he taking his timeout right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would be the one criticism I would have. That could be inexperience. That could be...
Yeah, sure.
That could be shell shock. Like, maybe he was just like, what the... but that would have been the time to kind of get everybody back and take a breath.
Yeah.
We're still leading. We got this. Let's go back to what we were doing so well. And it didn't happen. And that would be my lone criticism, on Richardson was that.
A lot of times coaches like to let the players feel out the situation and figure it out themselves before stepping in. And I feel like that's without knowing exactly what he's saying. He's talking to the media right now. Without knowing exactly what he's saying, I'm sure that question may be being answered. And he seems like a coach that would go with that strategy. In that moment, trying to let the players pull themselves out of it, rather than having to step in if he didn't feel it was necessary. But I feel like at that point, that's some time where you kind of have to step in, and try and collect the team, slow things down. Because there were some empty seats in that arena once it was 4-1 in Dallas, but then mounting the comeback, tying the game, eventually getting the lead, like you could feel it just watching the game. Like that building was erupting, even though it wasn't at capacity.
Yeah. A couple quotes rolling in here post-game. These from Ben Pope at the Sun-Times. He said, this is Max Domi. Quote, that's a game you have to find a way to close out. You got to find a way to win that one. It's on us to close that one out. We had no business losing that game.
How about not taking a penalty right after?
That would be helpful.
That's a good
tough.
start.
That would be not giving them a power play would be really helpful. Luke is starting to speak now. Only thing he said so far via the Twitters is Sam Lafferty missed the third period with an injury. Richardson said he was, quote, just a little sore and will be reevaluated tomorrow. So that's something to keep an eye on injury-wise, but we'll keep an eye on what Luke has to say after this one. Steven, I sent you a video from practice on Tuesday on Slack. I don't know if we have time to get it in or not. If not, it's going to be in my 3 Hawks hits that are going to be published about a half hour after the game. And he talks about having to find a way to win and find a way to get these points. And it still holds true tonight, and it will remain until they find a damn way to do it. It's just really frustrating, and it's your points about the timeout are correct, and that is a valid criticism. And both you guys, not hindsight, said it in real time. He should call his timeout right now. But aside from that, I just don't know. He just doesn't have the horses. You got Jared Tenorti as one of your top defenders. You're down a goal late, and you have Jack Johnson on the point.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's literally all you can do. Like to get to the point that they were and to try and even midway through the third period be holding on to a lead. This Blackhawks team has to throw everything at every opponent they face to get to leads, to make comebacks. Like every night they have to be pedaled to the floor just to even be in games. And eventually, if you know anything about cars, when you're pedaled to the floor for that long, that often, you're going to eventually run out of gas.
Yeah.
And I feel like this Blackhawks team has, they can only have a full tank for so long.
We've got the video from Tuesday's practice. You might recognize the person asking this question to Luke Richardson. He's very handsome and bearded, and he's two spots to my left. guys before. All right, we'll try again. We'll try to grab it again, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
So we got some comments in here I want to get to. Sam says, after a loss like this, they should start trading everyone now because they will not have the right attitude for the next 3.5 months to make a team want to play top value. That might be a slight overreaction, Sam. I don't think anyone's going to punt on Patrick Kane because they blew a lead to Dallas in November. I think all of us need to pump the brakes a little bit on like the herky-jerky overreaction after every loss and every win. I'm guilty of it a little bit too. I don't think that the team is going to just quit. It's not in their character to quit. We talked all summer about the character that Kyle Davidson has gone out of his way to bring in here to this team. There's no Michael Nylander's on this team. Oh, Alex Nylander's on this team.
Well,
Michael Nylander wouldn't be bad.
There's no Michaels, but
there's
also
no Alex
Alex.
Nylander's on this team. There's no passengers on this team. If you want to say one guy, it would be Patrick Kane. That's a guy who, when he's not the strongest defender, the piano arrives on his back when it's time to defend. But guess what? He's still your best player.
Right.
So, look, this team is not going to give up. You just have to worry about the emotional impact of the loss, the how striking and like sudden of a loss it was, and they got to sit on it during a holiday tomorrow, and then they got to bounce back and play a game at 1 on Friday. It's like not only is this a really bad loss, it's a horrible time to take a loss like this too.
Sure.
Because it's going to ruin a holiday, and then they got to get right back at it at a weird time.
Well, thankfully, there's only
tough.
like 6 guys on the team that's an actual holiday for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're
Well,
I
they'll all
think you're all
celebrate
gonna do
it,
their
yeah.
thing, but yeah,
Most of those dudes celebrated Thanksgiving about 6 weeks ago, but that's all right.
It's got to be fun as a Canadian playing in an American market because you celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah, then you get a second one.
And then you celebrate the American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I would think, this is a question maybe we should ask next time we're in the locker room to a couple of the U.S. players, but I would think not many of the American players celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving and then American Thanksgiving.
I would. Two
I would too. I would
dinners,
take the
sign me F up.
opportunity to do the same thing. Yeah. But I wonder if they do that.
Yeah, because
anyways,
I don't know.
not to,
Because they actually play games on Canadian Thanksgiving where there are no
Right.
games on American Thanksgiving.
yeah. I don't know. Not to derail the conversation.
These are the
but-
types of things that keep me up at night.
all the Thanksgivings you can.
Yeah.
Every Thursday.
I'll do it every day.
Every Thursday.
Sam says they have 4 regulation wins. They all won out. You can't deny that. Okay. If that's how you want to look at the season,
Okay.
then
Yeah.
then
I mean,
go, like it's
look,
it's
you
just
can-
it's just simply not true.
I don't see that in the actual locker room after every game and
No.
after every day. I don't see any of those guys saying I don't want to be here. It's easy to make a blanket statement like that, but the 3 of us are around this team every day. We see them in the locker room. We saw them Tuesday after practice. They were loose and having fun and like all happy to be there.
Yeah.
This is not a team that they're not angry. They're not hating each other. They're playing in the NHL. Some of these guys are fighting for their NHL futures. Some of these guys might be on their last ride. They're happy to be there. They don't want out. They're playing for each other. Look what they did against Pittsburgh. They're up 3-0, down 3-0, and they came back, and they just didn't have the talent to pull it off. They're up 4-1.
They didn't have Sidney Crosby.
Yeah. They're fighting for each other in every game.
Yeah.
And, they don't have the talent to beat good teams.
Yeah.
They should have won tonight. It got away from them. It's not because they won out. It got away from them because the Stars are a really good team with some superstar players on their team who got the momentum going on home ice, and they couldn't stop it.
It's a talent discrepancy, and we said over the summer and over the leading into this season, living and dying on wins and losses this year is going to be rough on your health for Blackhawks fans, and I get it. Look, we want to cheer for wins. We want to be upset with losses. We want this team to be competitive.
And we were. Watching that loss sucked. Like the 3 of us were like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it was not fun.
There was a loud cheer when Domi scored.
It was not fun seeing the team collapse. But but we had to laugh at it because it was just like, my God, like just the epic way that it came about.
The fact that they had to stop the game to be like, nope, they scored.
Right, yeah.
That you laugh because you're like, of course. Like, yeah all right.
But
it's a creative way to lose, I guess.
It's going to be a long season if you're living and dying with losses like that. Like a loss like this, as epic as it was, it's going to happen. It very well will. I will guarantee a loss like this happens again this season, at least once.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Because the talent discrepancy against most teams this season is going to be very evident. It was built that way by Kyle Davidson, and he gave Luke Richardson this roster and said, figure it out. And while Davidson says, like, I'm not rooting for them to lose, it's a little tongue-in-cheek. He knows the team that he gave Luke Richardson. Luke Richardson's gotten a lot out of this team, more than I think that's been expected at times. But this is just the team that they are.
Yes.
They don't have a difference maker. And, it's for as much as they're, like you said, they are playing for each other. They have come together, and a lot of these guys have come in on 1-year deals or have 1 year left or what have you, new to the team, claimed off the waiver wire. Like it's a mishmash of guys that are here. And as much as they say, like, we want to prove everyone wrong, all the expectations are that this team's going to suck, and we want to, have a chip on our shoulder and prove people wrong and do better than the expectations are. These professionals know the room that they're in. And these guys know not a lot of them, if any, are going to be around in 2 to 3 years. Like, I can't look at this roster and say, yep, they are guaranteed to be here when this team is competitive again. You can't.
I don't think there's a single guy you could say that
and
about.
They're smart. They have to know that too. Could someone could Kyle Davidson come back and say, you know what? We really like what Max Domi brought to the team or Andreas Athanasiou brought to the team, and the trade market isn't enticing enough for us to get rid of him, so we're going to extend him or bring him back or whatever. Could that happen? Sure. Will it? Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
A lot of these guys are going to be flipped. They're going to be traded.
Yeah.
They're not going to be re-signed. Like, it's the roster turnover from this year to next year to the year after is going to be massive.
It's the 2011, 2012 Cubs.
Yeah.
Go back to that roster. How many of those guys were on that World Series winning team? None of them.
Yep.
It's bottoming out, and we got a couple comments in there about if the Hawks don't get Bedard, it's a failure. No, you're wrong.
No.
First of all, what else are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to keep doing the he who shall not be named? Squint your eyes hard enough and maybe we can make the playoff bullshit that we've been dealing with the last 5 years? No, that sucked. That's why we have to completely tear it down. And if you don't get the number 1 overall pick, it's not a failure because you have, Connor Bedard is the ultimate prize here. But all their eggs are not in the Connor Bedard basket. You've got multiple first-round picks already this year. You're probably maybe going to get at least one more at the trade deadline, depending on if Patrick Kane gets traded or not. But you're going to have at least 2 first-round draft picks. You've got multiple draft picks in the first 3 rounds. That's how you do this. You don't say Connor Bedard by himself isn't changing this franchise. That's why you had 3 first-round picks this past year. That's why you're going to get more and more and keep building. Connor Bedard will take a year off the rebuild, but he won't change this into a cup-winning team just by drafting him. And if you don't get him, is it a disappointment? Absolutely. Is it a failure? No. Yes, finishing with the worst record in hockey does not guarantee you get him, but it gives you the best odds. What else are you going to do?
That's the thing.
What else are you going to do?
What's the alternative?
What's your plan that works better than this? You may not get Connor Bedard, but what is your plan? Go get Marc-Andre Fleury again and sowed us a load of BS that this is a playoff team? No, this should have happened 3 or 4 years ago. This is the correct way to do it. Will it all go to plan? Will it all work out exactly as Kyle Davis envisions it? We don't know. But trying to be the 8th playoff seed again, where does that get you? 4 playoff games to get your teeth kicked in by the Colorado Avalanche? No thanks. I'd rather bottom out, take 3 or 4 years of some pain, and then get back to where we were in 2010, 2013, 2015. That's what you have to do. That's what the organization did back then. They bottomed out. They're doing it again. This is the right way to do it. If you don't get Connor Bedard, it's a disappointment. But this is how you get back to being real contenders. Not the he who shall not be named. I'm going for my job garbage. He's the reason we're in this situation. Kyle Davidson's trying his best to fix it. He's less than a year in. Let's relax.
Here's the thing. For the naysayers, what's the alternative? What would you prefer they do? Even if you had Lucas Reichel here, even if you brought up the best players in Rockford who are not ready, right? They're still going to have the same result. It might be a little bit different, but there's still going to be losses. And then you've gone ahead and rushed prospects, as they did with Doc and Jokiharju and with Boquist and all these guys. And really, Kirby's off to a nice start in Montreal. Fine. But, like, have any of these guys hit what we thought they were going to be? No. Their development was ruined. What is the alternative? Because the alternative was what they did last year. Oh, man, we're going to bring in Seth Jones, and we're going to bring in Jake McKay, we're going to bring in Marc-Andre Fleury, and we're going to sift the playoffs. And then they were horrible. And there was no direction, there was no plan, and now Kyle Davidson comes in and has a sound plan. He went from 0 first-round picks on the morning of the draft to 3, 2 of which have franchise potential in Nazar and Korchinski. Korchinski, a lot of us who watched him play this preseason were like, this dude's ready now.
You're right.
And if he who shall not be named was a GM, he'd freaking be on the blue line right now.
Right.
Right? Like,
He wouldn't have drafted him, though.
there is
True.
there is a definite plan in action here that is not just the year in front of his face, like the guy before him. Kyle Davidson's looking 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road here. And that's how they're going to get back to where they were in 2009, in 2010, and beyond. Because it wasn't just Kane and Toews get here, and the Hawks are great. You had already been developing Keith and Seabrook. Crawford's in the system. Bufflin's in the system. Boland's in the system. And yeah,
Patrick Sharp
those guys,
was here.
Patrick Sharp, you trade for Patrick Sharp. And like those guys aren't, like, Bufflin wasn't considered a franchise guy. Boland wasn't. But they developed nicely and found their niches in the NHL. So when those franchise pieces come, be it Bedard or Fantilli or whoever it might be, you've got the core around them. You still have had some of Patrick Kane's greatest seasons in the last few years, but the team around him has sucked. That's the difference. It's the depth. You heard Marian Hossa talk about it like crazy last week.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me. It wasn't just Toews and Kane. It was Hjalmarsson. It was Oduya. It was Boland. It was on and on and on. And by adding these picks and doing a real rebuild, that's the surest way of getting back to where you need to be. And look, next year they've got a crap ton of cap space too.
Even if they don't make any more trades for first-round picks, in Kyle Davidson's first 3 years as general manager, he'll have 7 first-round picks. That's how you rebuild.
And Chuckle Munko brings up a good point. He says, I'd rather have the Hawks get a bunch of rock-solid, if not superstars, supporting cast guys at the draft, add the 1 or 2 superstars in free agency if need be. That can work too.
Also a way to do it. And
that's a way to do it.
And if you look at the free agency classes of this upcoming summer and the summer after, there's at least 2 or 3 players that you could point at and be like, Hawks could get this guy and that guy, or this guy and this guy, and it would make a significant difference to the roster.
And that would be right around the time some of your recent first-round picks should be
coming around the corner.
NHL players.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got to let this thing unfold. And but the good thing is, if we count aggregate goals, the Blackhawks organization did beat the Stars organization tonight.
That's true.
Because the Rockford Ice Hogs beat the Texas Stars 7-2. So my math serves me right. That is an 11-8 overall victory.
That's right.
So suck it, Stars organization. You lose on aggregate goals. If it works in soccer, it can work in hockey.
All right. I know we have a super chat from Brandon we need to get to, too.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you,
Thanks for the
Brandon.
super chat, as always, Brandon. He says, this is a painful loss, but it's a rebuild. You're right about character, but need more talented support. Work ethic can only take you so far. That's it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about. It's exactly what it is. All right. We got that video ready to go, Steven? All right, here's Luke Richardson after Tuesday's practice talking about the loss to the Penguins, but it's very pertinent to what happens today.
Challenging at this stretch of the season where maybe the wins aren't coming to kind of keep the team spirits high.
Yeah, but I talked to the guys before in the video session today, and I said, you know what, we really liked how the guys played. They played much harder, much more determined last game. We're satisfied with that, but we're not satisfied with the result. So now we have to take another step. We have to find a way to get to the next step of coming out of those games. We worked so hard to come back. How do we hold on to that point and catch our breath? Because we've been pushing, and it's hard playing catch-up hockey. Get to that overtime. Do we want to play against Pittsburgh in overtime 3-on-3? Probably not, but it's a better option than losing the 2 points. So I think, I don't think the guys were too defeated after that. I think they realized that we can come back on a team like Pittsburgh, and play really well in the third period up until we ice the puck, and they got Sidney Crosby turns it on and gets a goal for the game winner. I think they were pretty confident that, our game is coming, but now we're not satisfied. We got to keep going and to try and get some results, because that's what pro sports is all about. It's about results, and we got to make sure that we keep building and getting closer to it until we achieve it, and then maintain it.
Let's just keep that cut and then just change the team name all the time.
Pretty much.
Because that's significant. All right, got a couple before we tell you about Shady Rays and stuff. Another quote here from Richardson about the timeout specifically. He said he didn't consider calling a timeout during the Stars' comeback. Quote, "It's a loud building. We try to be confident on the bench and positive till the guys until the fifth goal." So there's that. Seth Jones says he felt, quote, decent in his first game back, playing 21-13. Quote, "I made some boneheaded plays, a couple of them, but my legs were moving well." So there you go. I'll be the opposite of that on Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl tomorrow.
Yeah, Seth Jones, we haven't even gotten to this. This scored first of the year in his first game back in his hometown. That was good. That was a good feeling early in the game.
Yeah, all six defensemen had a point for the Blackhawks tonight. I don't remember the last time that's happened. That's a fun stat.
Want to reach out to Stats Inc. or
where's Chris?
I
know he's a baseball guy,
Chris
but I'm
Kamka.
sure he could figure that out pretty quickly. It's been a while, I'm sure. I'm sure that
Elias
happens.
Sports Bureau. That's what I'm thinking of.
I'm sure it happens more often than we think, but just for this particular Blackhawks team, it's a rarity.
I can't think of a time. I can't think of a game that it stands out that each defenseman had a point. I don't know. It might be more recent than we think, but anyways.
Maybe somewhere between 2010 and 2015.
I bet you it happened.
I'm sure it happened at least
I would guess
once.
it's somewhere in that.
When I
in that
see
range.
all defensemen getting an assist or getting a point in a game, reminds me of like a NHL 23 game. It seems like every goal I ever score, there's a defenseman getting an assist. But
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I see there's some people in the chat apologizing for overreacting. It's okay. That's what being a fan is, right? That's why we're here to help you talk you off the ledge.
These are group therapy sessions.
Yeah, exactly.
We all need it.
Exactly.
No needs to apologize for wearing your fandom on your sleeve. But we're just kind of like, hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. That's what we're here. We're here to talk about it with each other.
Our chat rule is don't be a dick.
It's a long season.
Yeah.
Long
You
season.
can come in with all your emotions and we can talk it out and shout it out, but as long as it's never personal or it's fine. All good.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I'm not going to go with that segue.
Whoa, it's right there.
No. We're just going to jump right into it. Shady Rays. We like Shady Rays. They're our friends. They make really cool sunglasses. They never understood why sunglasses were so expensive, so they set out to change it. And you don't have to break the bank for quality sunglasses this fall/winter because our friends at Shady Rays have you and your precious eyeballs covered. Shady Rays are premium polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle. And the best part about Shady Rays is they have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. If you lose or break your shades on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Did you throw your Shady Rays at the TV when the Blackhawks gave up 5 goals in 9 minutes?
I would have.
Maybe. You should have. Well, if you did, Shady Rays will replace them for you. There's even protected against Blackhawks blowing major leads. That's a very strong protection program, and even with that protection program, they still manage to make quality that I could tell you from being a customer of theirs for the last couple of years. They are just as good, if not better, than all the expensive name brands on the market. Shady Rays also provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed and have donated over 20 million meals to date. So not only do you look cool, but you do something cool for other people in need. They stand behind their product and told our team if anyone has a problem, they will throw profit right out their giant window at their office and do what it takes to get it right. You got to have a big window in a sunglasses office to test out your shades, make sure they work.
That's good.
Free returns and exchanges. You either love the shades or Shady Rays will ship them back. An exclusive for our wonderful CHGO listeners. That's you guys and girls. Shady Rays is running the deepest deal of the season. Use CHGO for 50% off 2 or more pairs at shadyrays.com. I'm no mathematical genius, but I know that's buy one, get one free. You can get 2 pairs of awesome sunglasses for as low as $54. Redeem over at shadyrays.com.
And guys, I told you my friend Mark used the promo code CHGO, and he did the mystery pair. Well,
Yeah.
the sunglasses all the way on the right are the mystery pair, and those might actually be my favorite ones.
Yeah,
of
like those are
3.
the best, I
Ooh,
think.
nice.
look
What's
good.
in the
Sweet.
box?
Yep, only
Awesome.
$19 for the mystery pair,
That's
and you got
awesome.
free shipping.
Yep.
Not bad.
Good stuff right there.
whatsoever. Like that. If you're saving money on the Shady Rays, you can do some more benefits to your body. Not only protecting yourself from the harmful sun, but also from bubble gut and
Too late.
Mud butt.
and especially
I'm a lost cause.
be better than the Blackhawks. Keep your pants clean by optimizing your immune system and your gut health with some AG1 from Athletic Greens. This is going great. It's a formula designed to boost your natural energy, boost your immune system, boost your gut health. And by doing that, all you got to do is take 1 scoop of AG1. With that, you're going to absorb 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens that help you start your day right. If you have different dietary restrictions or follow different diets, whatever they might be, you can take AG1 and put it right into that diet, and you're going to be able to incorporate it right into your life and do yourself some good. It's a small once-a-day habit with big benefits. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you got to do is go to athleticgreens.com/CHGO Blackhawks. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/CHGO Blackhawks to take ownership over your health. Pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Lots of folks in the chat talking about the Petr Mrazek performance of the night. Confession, he was my 4th star until he wasn't. When it was 4-1, he was really looking strong, and then everything sort of fell apart behind him. I think Petr Mrazek is exactly what he is. He's a replacement level starter. He got you a 1st-round pick, and he's going to get you some tank wins.
Yeah.
So just it is what it is, but I thought, until the game got away from the entire team, I thought he was okay. What did you guys think of Mrazek?
Yeah, I mean, there were a few goals that you can't really necessarily hang on him. When Dallas just kind of turned it on, it just kind of seemed like he was getting no help from the guys in front of him, trying to suppress shots, which they were doing a really good job of at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
It took Dallas almost 15 minutes to get their first shot actually on net, even though they had about almost a dozen shot attempts. All of them were getting blocked.
The Hawks blocked 28 shots in this game.
Yeah, and still were outshot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there were times where Mrazek played really well, but then I think there were times where he was kind of left out there. And is there a save that you'd like him to make? Sure, but you can't hang all of those third period goals on him.
No, and even some of those saves he was making in the first and second period, there were some juicy rebounds that he was kicking out that there was just nobody
to be
in a Stars jersey around. And then, third period, he starts giving up more and more rebounds. They start crashing the net a little more. Granted, there was nobody in red there to help sweep away some of those rebounds either. But as Jay said, Petr Mrazek's been Petr Mrazek. I mean, we kind of knew
what you were getting.
Yeah, he may steal you a win here or there, but overall, he's going to be just good enough for you guys to lose by a goal.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And then, I'm pretty sure Arvid Soderblom will get the start on Friday.
Soderblom.
And
Soderblom.
There it is.
Thank you,
See, I was
Appreciate it.
I was waiting for that. I'm sure he'll start Friday, and the goalies are the goalies. I mean, they're not going to be the difference makers many nights. I don't think. That just Soderblom has been really good, but again, it's just only so much one human being can take between the pipes,
Right?
Before it just
No human can withstand.
Yeah.
Isn't that what? Is it Ryan Kessler who
Yes.
said that? No
Yeah.
human can withstand this many hits.
as they lost in games. Confirmed.
That was
Budwag.
fun. That was fun. By the way, Soderblom, we should have known because he's got the umlaut over the O, which makes the same sound as Motley Crue. All right.
There you go.
See?
There you go.
There you go. That's how I learned it.
Girls,
everybody.
girls.
Not you, Vosters. Mention another podcast on a broadcast today. Don't mention us. No.
How rude.
We put you on, actually, instead of just talk crap about your mustache. Anyway, why don't we get to the 4 stars of the game?
Sure.
All right, your 3 stars of the game were freaking superstar Jason Robertson.
Yeah.
He was the number 3 star. If you don't know Jason Robertson, get to know him. Ho-hum, 2 goals, 2107, 6 shots on goal, and 8 more shot attempts.
And I believe a 13-game point streak was extended
He's
tonight.
Good Lord.
If he played in
If
any
he
of the
switched places with his brother,
he'd be
he'd be in the Hall of
Yeah.
Fame.
Exactly.
Unreal. Jamie Benn, number 2 star, a goal and assist. Only 12:22 of ice time for him and his old ass. 3 shots on goal, won 63% of his faceoffs. And your number 1 star was your friend and mine, Radek Faksa. He had a goal, 11:59, a shot. Did he say the game winner? Is that why he's the
winner,
number 1 star?
Game winner, yeah.
Okay, watch the freaking game. How is Jason Robertson not the number 1 star of this game?
That's a good question.
That's really dumb.
That's a question for the Dallas media, because apparently they voted on it.
It's by Bruce Levine, not Chicago's Bruce Levine. Dallas's Bruce Levine of The Ticket, not Chid.
The ticket.
Ticket.
That's the ticket.
All right, I forgot who I gave it to.
Our 4th
Can you
stars.
remind me? Yes, Andreas Athanasiou, who had a really solid game himself. A goal, 2 shots. Really like the fact that he went and back-checked late in the game, stole the puck away and went the other way, creating a scoring chance. I was a little pissed off that he got pulled down. Probably should have been a penalty, but instead of getting up and defending, he sat against the boards, palms up. Dude, get up. And Troy Murray said as much.
And Troy Murray called him out.
Yeah,
he
but
did.
aside from that, I was pretty happy with Athanasiou's game, especially when you see an offensive-minded guy bust his ass hustling back defensively. Loved it.
Yeah, I mean, he is who he is, and he can be electric at times.
Yep.
And I think that the goal he scored was tremendous.
I think he's also tougher than I gave him credit for coming into the team.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's a guy who's willing to cut through 3 defenders and take some hits to make things happen.
He's gonna take the puck directly to the front of the net any chance he can get by using his speed, and sometimes he's gonna get bulldozed into the goalie. Sometimes
I love they pointed out that he just skated 20 miles an hour. I'm like, that's slower than Justin Fields runs, which is amazing.
That's pretty
what the hell?
Pretty incredible.
All right, I'm going to go with hometown boy making his return. Seth Jones scored the first Blackhawk goal of the night, his first of the season. Good to see number 4 back out there. I think we realized quickly with him out for the last few weeks how badly this team missed him. Luke Richardson, they were going to ease him back in the lineup. Yeah, he still led the team in ice time with 21, 12, 26 shifts. He had the goal, 3 shots on goal, 6 total shot attempts. He had to take away 2 block shots. For his first game back in almost a month, looked pretty good out there. Good to see him get that goal. We need to see him score more goals. I think even, he said it himself a lot last year that he needs to score more goals. It's not his main objective on this team, but it'll be nice to start seeing him get some of that. And maybe, hey, one from the power play, maybe.
That would be
nice. But, they're not even putting defensemen on the power play, so that streak's going to live forever, apparently.
Yeah.
But good for Seth Jones.
Yeah.
Glad to see him back. And, I think he inspired everybody on the defense to get a point tonight.
Yeah. 21-12, Bruce Miles' favorite ice time.
Nice.
You guys know?
Very nice.
If you know, you know.
I got that one.
Yeah. Richardson said he didn't want to play Seth 27 minutes, which he didn't, but 21 still led the team. My 4th star of the night was a guy who giveth and taketh away with the Blackhawks. Max Domi was all over the ice tonight in more ways than one. Scored the second effort goal to make it 4-1, and then took the penalty 6 seconds later that caused the landslide of goals and momentum swinging for the Dallas Stars. Good in 2 different perspectives. Good for scoring the goal, good for the tank win. So Max Domi, 4th star of the night.
A couple other noteworthy items from this game. Jonathan Toews picked up his 500th assist.
Hey.
You're going to hear about him in a little bit. And the Blackhawks lost the faceoff battle tonight.
Ooh.
46%. Max Domi won 5 and lost 10.
Take him off the graphic.
That's
change my pick.
I mean, he's at the top of the league. Jonathan Toews
That's probably the first.
was the only Hawk that took a significant amount of faceoffs that was over 50. He won 14 and lost 6. So another great night at the dot for Toews.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it's pretty rare for the Hawks to lose that.
Third in the league in overall faceoff percentage. So
Max got his ass handed to him.
2 of the top 3 faceoff. 2 of the top 3 faceoff teams facing off tonight. Couldn't think of a better word there. But yeah, I mean it's rare that the Blackhawks don't win the battle at the faceoff dot. I think is this only the second game that they've?
I believe that's right.
Only the second game that they haven't won the majority of the draws. So yeah, I mean it's a small part of the game, but it's important. I don't think it's the reason that they lost 6-4, but it doesn't help in trying to win the possession battle for sure.
All right, let's do the king of the game, shall we?
King of the game.
there it is.
Because of the 500th assist of his career,
It's a great
Fiction.
photo.
we're going to give it to a very happy-looking Jonathan Toews in that
I don't
photo.
want to be the king of the game.
I don't know how to be the king of the game on a losing team.
He had an assist.
Oh, that's
he
a
had a
perfect
shot on
picture.
goal, 1909 of ice time. So congratulations, Jonathan Toews.
Yes.
More so on your 500th assist than the game.
Yes.
This was one of his less noticeable games, I would say, overall.
Yeah.
But hey, when you reach a milestone like that, it deserves recognition. So Toews gets it. He's our king of the game. And hockey fans, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's time to light the lap this winter with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. New customers can bet just $5 pregame money line on any NHL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. If that wasn't enough excitement, you can turn your small bets into bigger payouts with same-game parlays. Had I listened to Greg, I would have won. I said Joel Pavelski to score first and the Stars to have the lead after the first period. It was actually Jason Robertson, which Greg told me to do instead. I would have won, but I didn't, so I'm a loser.
That's all right. I gave you the information to win your bet, but you didn't take it. And then my 4-leg parlay for night was shot down in flames before it even really had a chance. It's all good.
Those four gamers are tough.
I've won 2 in the
But they're
last week.
super fun. So combine those multiple bets, like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, who's going to score first, who's going to have the lead after the first, all those things and more for your shot at an even bigger payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code CHGO. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
I always seem to go one leg too far on those parlays.
Yeah.
I hit 5 of 6 on Sunday.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I hit 0 of 4 tonight, so yeah, no shot.
4 too many.
We got to do our play of the week here, too.
Yes.
Well, it is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So the theme of the play of the week will not be Blackhawks or hockey related. It'll be football related.
Yeah, we're not going to have a show tomorrow. Pick of the week is usually on Thursdays. So since there's no show, we'll bet some football because
Yeah.
what else are you going to do on Thanksgiving but eat some food and watch football.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah,
might-
I mean that's what it's there for.
You might play some football.
Not me. I'll text Jay and ask how his game went. While
If I don't hurt my knee going downstairs again like I did yesterday.
Yeah.
That was your body telling you, nope, we're
God.
not playing on Thursday. So anyway, we're going to do, we decided we were looking at the spreads. Those are some interesting spreads for tomorrow's slate
Not
of
just the turkey.
pigskin. We're going to go with the New York Football Giants. They're getting 10 points at the Cowboys tomorrow. That seems like a lot of points. I know the Cowboys are at home.
That is a lot of points.
I know Thanksgiving is their day, but I mean the Giants are probably not as good as their record states, but they're not a pushover either.
Giants beat the Cowboys earlier this year, did they not?
And the Cowboys are coming off that huge win.
Short
over the
week, huge win.
Vikings.
Yep.
They are like screaming for a major letdown. So we're gonna take the points, double-digit points. Lay it on me like another helping of cranberry sauce out of a can. Take the Giants and the 10
nice
points.
layer of gravy.
That's our DraftKings pick of the week.
All right. Well, I have sucked at doing my job today, so here's a couple things. Make sure you smash that like button there on the YouTube page. We would greatly, greatly appreciate that. If you want to show us some thanks for doing the podcast 5 times a week, smash that like button every time you're here. If you're just a podcast person, thank you. Listen, subscribe to the podcast as well. We would greatly, greatly appreciate that. And we've got our new legendary 81 design available now at the CHGO Locker.
It's a beaut, Clark.
If you have been waiting
It is
to become a CHGO diehard because you were waiting for that perfect shirt to get for free when you sign up, it's here. The legendary 81 design is available now at chgolocker.com. Go pick it up. Go buy it. It's fantastic. If you're a member at CHGO already, you save 20% on that and all merch all the time. And you get a free shirt or hat every year upon renewal. So go to chgolocker.com to pick up the shirt. Go to allchgo.com to become a diehard. Level up your fandom and become a CHGO diehard today
Do it.
because you go to an event, you buy a couple shirts, and the thing pays for itself. Mm-hmm. It's really outstanding. So
Great way to get the best experience with us here at CHGO. Be a diehard. You're already a diehard Chicago fan. Do it the right way. Get yourself that diehard membership card. Put it
pretty
right there in
sweet.
the wallet.
Yep.
Show it at the events. You get to show it at some of our partners to get a little discount there as well. It's always good to show a card and be like, you know what? I got the card here.
Yeah.
Give me that discount.
Give it some Wayne's World treatment and just
Yeah. Excuse me.
excuse me.
Membership.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a great program, and just know that us here at CHGO and all the stations at All City are looking to give you more value for your membership. So it's just an awesome program. The vast majority of our web content is now completely unlocked. So jump in there, read the things. Again, my 3 Hawks hits will be coming out tonight. We've got our weekly Blackhawks beat, rebuild report, and This Week in Hawks history. On top of all the other stuff we write, it's just a really great thing. And it's not just what we do. It's every professional Chicago team from the Bears to the Fire to the Red Stars to the Sky to the White Sox, whatever team you love, they're covered here at CHGO. So become a diehard, level up your fandom. It's an awesome, awesome deal. And hey, you get a free shirt upon sign up and every year upon renewal. So jump in, get those discounts, join us at some events. It's an awesome time. It's a great thing to be part of. And we are very thankful for those of you that have been with us since we launched in March, which is crazy because it feels like somehow forever ago and yesterday at the same time.
Yes. Yeah.
It's weird
Pretty
that
crazy
way.
that we're creeping up on that 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
It's not that far away.
I know.
It's around the corner.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Trade deadline day
That was my first day.
this year's trade No,
It's a date.
it's a
day
few
bef-
days before.
Is it what, March 3rd is the deadline?
March 3rd is the deadline.
March 4th was launch date, so it's a day before our 1 year
4th or the
anniversary.
5th?
4th.
Yeah, fourth.
The 5th is my birthday, so we launched the day before. That's how I remember. Yeah.
So 366 days around the calendar.
Yep. So
Charlie the Bacon Guy's in here, and he says, did I miss the Hawks call a timeout? They probably should have, right? They did. It was just a little too late.
It was late.
And Luke Richardson said he didn't want to call it too early because sometimes that can have kind of a negative impact, he thought, which is interesting. And somebody mentioned, maybe it was Chuckle Mucko in the chat, mentioned that he heard Craig Anderson on the 32 Thoughts podcast. There it is. And he said that coaching has been trying to focus on the positive to prevent the negative from leaking into the head game, which is interesting because I think we are starting to see coaches trend that way, right? They're not going to be in your face. They're not going to be telling you suck. Luke, from day one, has been positive for the most part, even after losses.
Yeah.
He hasn't been yelling and screaming and saying, we suck, we got to be better. And from what I've seen so far tonight, none of that after this one either. And if there was a night for it, this was the one.
This would be the one. Yeah, definitely. Yes, there really only is one John Tortorella left.
Yeah.
And for many reasons, that's a good thing.
yeah. Our buddy No Roids Just Rage asks if we're going to be live on draft day or draft lottery day as well.
Yes. Both.
Yes. Definitely we'll be doing live draft lottery. And the tentative, hopefully permanent plan is for us to actually be in Nashville for the
On
draft.
location.
Hope so.
That's the idea. Especially if we get that first overall pick.
We will be there.
We're going to be in Nashville.
We're going to be in Nashville
for
the
the
entire
draft.
month if they get the first overall pick.
Yeah. So yes,
full
we
of
are looking very
barbecue and
excited for our draft coverage, but
country
we've got
music.
a long way to go before we get there.
Yeah.
I have one more Luke Richardson quote. I just checked a story here from Ben Pope in the Sun-Times. Quote, we didn't have our work ethic, and we sat back a little bit. Not exactly trying to preserve it, but they were coming hard, and we just didn't handle it well. On every goal, it was something different. Unfortunately, I thought the guys worked really hard for 40 or 50 minutes, but the game is 60 minutes, so that's a tough lesson to learn. So It's a little bit harsh. It's a little more harsh than usual for him, but spins it positive. It's a message to learn.
It's true.
You know?
It's the truth. Yep.
Yeah. So I really have been impressed with the way he has handled himself in the media. We've talked about this a few times. Is he perfect? No. Should he have called a timeout today, earlier? Probably. But I just think that this generation of athlete does not respond well to John Tortorella. And there's a reason that guy cannot hold on to a job for more than a couple of years because the message wears thin.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things Luke said is you can scream and yell at these guys, but they're going to stop listening. And call it a generational thing, call it what you want, but that's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nate asks if he should start juggling deep pairings or going to the line blender yet. I mean, when you blend up these lines, you still get the same thing. That's the problem with this.
Yeah.
Even with that bottom six, he changed it up the other day, but when your bottom six is six guys that all do the same thing,
They're all like the
They're
same
all
dude.
they're all the
interchangeable.
same player. Mixing them up really doesn't do anything. You know, it doesn't. Yeah, you got a little spark in the Pittsburgh game when you put Dickinson and Jujar Carey together with Blackwell. They looked good, but you know, tonight.
Yeah, Kachuk was out tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Right.
I mean, you could maybe mix some things up. Sure. I mean, I don't think it's going to harm anything. But when your roster is kind of all the same guy that all does the same thing, it's not going to make a huge difference, I don't think. But, I wouldn't be surprised for Friday. You'll probably see Tkachuk back in there. One of the bottom 6 guys will come out.
Especially if Lafferty is not quite ready to go.
Lafferty,
So that'll probably
feeling
be
off.
your easy out there. And then, with Seth Jones back, maybe do they send Ian Mitchell back to Rockford?
I want Mitchell in. I'm
or
sorry.
do you send Roos to Rockford and bring up another forward, especially if Lafferty's hurt?
Roos, I think they're afraid to because they might lose him, but that's...
I would hope they would have a conversation with him now, but like, hey, if we send you to Rockford for a couple weeks, you're not going to take your ball and go home, are you? Like, I would hope they would clear...
I don't know if that's his decision. It might be a club decision.
I would hope I hope they would have... Maybe that's why he's here. Maybe they know that answer, but... you may have to call up another forward, maybe get someone up from Rockford and give them a game on Friday, reward them,
Yeah.
I don't know who you would call. They're not going to bring up Reichel. Maybe a Josiah Slavin, give him, especially if you're trying to replace a Sam Lafferty type player. But, there's just not a lot of interchangeable, there's not a lot of moves you can make right now on this roster that's going to really change the dynamic of this team.
And it's been set up that way. They want the players who are in Rockford to be in Rockford, and they want the players who are on the NHL roster to stay there because their focus is to try and develop the guys as much as they can in the AHL before bringing them up to the NHL to see what they have. I agree, Jay. I would like to see Ian Mitchell back in. I think given the way everyone played tonight, though, I don't really know if there's any big justification to sit anyone on the defense. I think, I know Caleb Jones has been the part of the rotation of defensemen who have been sitting. I don't know. I don't know how they make a change on defense just yet. But, yeah, offensively, you have the guys you're going to rotate in and out. There's 7 clones just named differently.
Yeah, Lafferty Daniel said, what about Michael Tepley? That's a guy who was sort of in the conversation early in camp and then didn't really do much in the preseason. But he's got a little more offensive upside than some of the others.
He's playing well late.
Yeah, but he's just in the pecking order of young guys that you would bring up. I wouldn't have him above Reichel. I wouldn't have him above Slavin.
If it's for a game or two to give a look at, maybe that's a guy you bring in. Because, they've said we're not bringing Reichel up until he's ready to stay up. And at this point, I don't think that's happening until after the trade deadline.
If there's a forward that they're going to bring up, I look at like a guy like Brett Seney. Like he is
or Cole Gutman.
Or Cole Gutman. Like Seney has absolutely lit up the AHL this year with Rockford. 4 points tonight. Like, yeah, is he a difference maker? No. But like you reward the guy for playing well.
Yeah.
And wasn't there a little note in Scott Powers' notebook that don't be surprised if he gets an NHL contract?
That was David Gus.
Oh, it's Gus. Right?
David Gus, who's also been lighting up the AHL this year.
He's been their best player, and MVP type numbers for the first 6 weeks.
And he is on an AHL deal, so they would have to sign him to an NHL deal. But with the cap room they have, that would be no problem. Wanted to tell you guys about saving some money and some energy. And that is with the ComEd Efficiency Program, which is built and committed to helping families and businesses in the communities that ComEd serves. Wants them to save money and energy. ComEd offers free facility assessments that can help find energy-saving opportunities, whether it's lighting, HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, or industrial processes. An authorized engineer will work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and needs. These can be done in person or virtually and last approximately 2 hours. Within 3 to 4 weeks, customers will receive a report detailing energy efficiency projects that they can start working on immediately. Each recommendation will include estimated energy savings, the cost of the project, potential incentives, and simple payback. So don't wait on doing this. Get started saving money and energy today. For energy-saving tips and to schedule your free facility assessment, you can go to comed.com/poweringbiz. And if you're already signed up for a facility assessment, you can call them at 855-433-2700 during normal business hours to speak to a ComEd Energy Efficiency Program representative, or you can email them at businessee@comed.com to request an assessment online. Go to comed.com/facility assessment.
All right, and before we wrap up, the moment you've all been waiting for,
Yes, very patient tonight.
the tank standings.
Yes.
The red line has been eliminated, and the Blackhawks are in the top/bottom
in the
five.
tank.
And they might be moving even further. Live check-in right now. The Mighty Ducks are leading the New York Rangers 3-2 with
about
2
that?
minutes to play. Ottawa is down 2-1 with almost the entire third period to play. Some other teams, the Sharks are losing. They're going to lose. Canucks are tied with the Avalanche.
Yeah,
with
they
11
just
minutes
tied
to play.
that
They
game.
just
Ooh,
tied up the game.
wow, okay.
So the Canucks might be getting at least 1 point tonight. So and the Blue Jackets lost.
Interesting.
Coyotes, of course, beat the Hurricanes 4-0.
Yeah.
That's why they're not even
Let's
on the board
go.
anymore.
Yep.
So nicely done, Coyotes.
You know,
So
you trade Ryan Reeves, and you might lose to the Ducks.
Yep.
Serves the Rangers right.
So the Hawks currently third in the tank standings.
Right in the Michkov.
There you go.
there you go.
That's it.
Right where you want to be. So
Is this a Charles Wilson character, a Stars fan, coming in here trying to troll us? You know we're trying to lose, sir. That's like the whole idea. Joke's on you, buddy.
The score. Cool.
Like,
You
yeah.
got us, buddy.
yeah, we just showed you the standings, celebrating that we're almost in last
Yeah.
place, but you got us.
You
Oh,
got us.
man, you really stuck it to us.
Right
Hey,
in our
guess
face.
what? You were losing 4-1 to the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
All right. Happy
Anyways.
Thanksgiving, y'all.
Yeah.
We love you. Thank you B, for being here. I know it was a tough night, tough pill to
Interesting
swallow after this one, but hey, there you go. The end result is there. The Hawks are third in the tank standing, so there's your silver lining. Hope everybody has a great and safe Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we'll talk to you Friday afternoon. Hawks drop the puck with the Canadians at 1. We'll be on right after on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.